To fight for my yearnings. Fear in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day. I tried to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind wouldn't leave me. I tried to get by, but I'm burning. My mind, it runs. All these thoughts have trouble me.
Hey, you. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. Okay, I get tickled because you're like all smiles as usual. And I'm very thankful that you took the time to do this with me. Because as you can see, you are a part and part of the community, of the agricultural world that brings some new innovative energy to the actual industry.
Right.
It's very seldom that we see dads in ag that young like yourself, innovative and doing some out of box type of activities in our community. In brown community, I say black community, however they want to put it, because I get tagged if I say things politically incorrect, although they're not the ones out here doing it on an everyday basis. But anyhow, we're not going to go down that road. Again, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. I'm not even going to attempt to do your last name. Can you properly introduce yourself and officially introduce yourself to the community across the world? Right. This is an actual talk show. It's called Women in Ag Wednesday Talk Show. Right. And we are highlighting all of you wonderful dads in the month of June. And we titled this segment Dads in Ag. And yeah, so introduce yourself, what you do in the community, how long you've been doing it, how many children you have, your wife, what she does, just who you are. It's all yours.
All right. Well, my name is Emmanuel Sosanya, pronounced Sosanya, as in show me. Even though it is spelled S-O-S-A. I am, my parents are Nigerian. So I'm a first generation Nigerian American born here in Oklahoma. So it's myself and my two younger brothers. And all three of us happen to be personal trainers. And I am the owner of Intentional Fitness. Now 3.5 years, the only fitness studio on the east side of Oklahoma City that has ever been. It's a premier public fitness studio with personal trainer guidance and video guidance. And we are different. We excel when it comes to cardio, core and abs, and strength because that is what we focus on when we do our workouts. And it's been a adventurous 3.5 years, to say the least. But in that 3.5 years, I've met Tammy, Dr. Tammy Steele, which has been an amazing connection for certain.
Well, thank you very much, but I'm going to circle you back to your home life. How
Oh
many
yeah,
children and your wife and
right. Yes, I'm married to a wonderful woman, Adelia Sosanya. She is a native of the east side of Oklahoma City, graduate of Douglas High School.
okay,
We've been married now going on, we're now going on 18 years. It'll be 18 years this
very good,
August. 18
wonderful,
years this August, but been together now for 25 and a half years. So
beautiful.
yeah, and we have three beautiful children. Our oldest daughter, Trinity, and then we have two boys, Solomon, who is 12, and Messias, he is 9.
Wonderful. And I've met all of your children. They've been here to the center, the outreach center, and I've met your wife. She is wonderful. And I can't give you any more shout outs, or if, as I always say to women, flowers for your wonderful community work. And you stayed consistent, and I see you like smile, but also it's kind of a kind of a broken smile behind it because I understand your woes when it comes to being an Afro-American man in a Black community trying to have a business. It's hard. It's daunting. It's unfair to me because you shouldn't have to if you're bringing something so unique and needed in an underserved community.
Right.
It should be supported. And I know that as far as National Women Agriculture, I sit in the same community as you did, and we are coming together to try to bring you, and I should say bring you, we are partnering to marry agriculture and fitness
Right.
together.
Right.
And where you're wanting to do the youth fitness piece here in agriculture, tying the food in with the fitness, and it's so, and it all goes together.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about food and where do you see yourself in the space and how do you see yourself being a part of the agriculture industry?
Nutrition is extremely important. I literally was just on the phone with one of my clients explaining to her that it's important more than anything while she's gone and not working out with me for the next couple of weeks that she stays on top of her nutrition. So nutrition is first and foremost when it comes to fitness. When the children are young, of course, they usually don't have to worry about that, but it's necessary now to get a hold of it and to understand it. Most kids, they somewhat shy away from vegetables, but that's usually because it's a taught habit. So that's something that I think that we can break as adults. Me and my wife have definitely done so to where our children are familiar with vegetables, all kinds of vegetables. They don't necessarily always want to eat all of them, but but they are familiar and they do have a pretty nutritious diet in comparison to the majority of the people in the United States, especially here in Oklahoma. We are literally number 47 out of 50 states when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to health, when it comes to all of the bad things like diabetes, high blood pressure. So starting with the youth is very important. I think adding fitness and making it fun and introducing how important nutrition can help them better in fitness, and not necessarily to become an athlete or a pro athlete or anything like that, but more so to just feel great. There's a difference in how you feel throughout the day based on what you eat. That's extremely important. Again, easily circling that back to fitness. The way you work out and the effectiveness of a workout is all based on nutrition. And so youth doesn't last forever. So it's important that they know that now, as many people have grown older and have found out the hard way later.
Most definitely. But it is amazing how the older you get and you look back at your life. I look at myself and think, do I want to continue down the path of being unhealthy when as it comes to food? And the
Right.
older you get, it really reflects what type of life and lifestyle you come from, or how you took care of yourself when you were younger.
It's definitely an environment thing.
Most definitely. I look at so many adults in my age range, or not too much older, especially again in Oklahoma, that I've seen that they just kind of deteriorate because things that they didn't put in good, right?
Right.
So, and to the children and what we're trying to do, and I always say, we are literally trying, and you are doing an excellent job of breaking generational curses throughout the community, and that's big. Where you're looking outside of your family and saying, okay, fitness is going to go into this, but we got to make sure food, because I have heard experts say it's 80-20, right? As far as,
Yeah.
do
And
you-
that's yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good ratio. Again, most people are not looking to become high performance athletes, and so that's why the food is so important. Someone like myself or my brothers or people in that category who play college or who were college athletes, and played at a high level, our workouts are going to be different than the majority of everyone else, a majority of the world, really, because of what we're trying to do. We're high performers when it comes to being physical, but then that comes to an end. Again, everybody has always seen, what happens to the football players after they retire, and the basketball players. You see them limping and slouching, and that comes from that comes from bad habits. It comes from being a high performer. It comes from injuries, which I have suffered, and I'm sure others have suffered as well. But knowing how to take care of your body and knowing how to nutritionally recover is very important. It's very important. So one thing I've done to integrate myself into ag, other than partnering with you, is I've also partnered with the market at East Point.
Yes.
And they have my grab bags, which it's an intentional fitness grab bag, basically a menu of 6 different things that they could grab from the market right there. I purchased there, but it's all been put together. So they have sources of protein, they have sources of vegetables, they have sources of healthy fat, and they can put that together, grab it right there and go, as opposed to stopping at McDonald's and spending, $5 or $7 or $8. You can go somewhere and get something good for, around the same price and feel way better. And then, of course, there's the free garden that you have, which has always been there for the community, which I think is amazing.
I think it's amazing, and that in itself, Emmanuel, you haven't even told me about that grab bag thing. That's phenomenal. That's big. That's a national initiative, brother.
It is.
That is tight. I really, really like that. And again, yeah, we definitely got to get you with the grant writer to roll that out on a big way. Because like you said, a grab bag of having that information, what you could do, like literally tangible information while they're in the grocery store. Before you go down the bad aisles, go ahead and go around the good aisles, and I learned this in my studies and in my horticulture and nutritional studies. Most of your bad foods, I should say, are in the inner aisles. And it makes sense. If you look at the layout and the whole demographics of the grocery store, on the outskirts of the grocery store, you have all your fruits and vegetables, locally, or not locally grown, but just fresh, if you will, because 80% of our food in Oklahoma is shipped in. So that's what we're trying to help have more locally grown and people buying more from the farmers. So to have that grab bag when they come in, that's just dope all the way around. I mean, I love that. So they know, stay from in between those aisles where all the bad stuff is at. you know.
First thing you see, they actually reshaped or redid the aisle when you first walk in. It used to be a bunch of soda and drinks
Yes.
like that, and they totally have taken that all out. And they
Hey, hey.
I'll bring.
See, guys, check it out. A brother, and that's where we don't give our credit. A brother that is an athlete, a former athlete, brought his expertise to our community in fitness, but he's turned around and reaching back and making sure they're buying the right food to go with the fitness.
Absolutely.
That's phenomenal. That's huge. And as far as, like I said, you're going outside your own family, you're community driven. So this initiative definitely has to be supported and will be supported, I know, by National Women in Agriculture to further, ram that up some more to roll out to the nation.
Yes.
So as far as with the fitness, going back to the fitness, and I have to put my head down. Yes, Mr. Emmanuel has tried with me. I got off track, you all, because they keep me busy. And I can honestly say where I've been, I kind of went out of state, I came back, I had so much going on. But long story short, your actual cardio and you trying to help me get rid of these extra lbs. Can we talk about some some of the things that people can do just being in the garden? I find myself when I'm out there, the proper way to squat. You could use those as part of your exercise and cardio, or if you will, strengthen your thighs, your butt area. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. Well, first, I would say just kind of one of the things that I think is big about fitness is mindset. And so I think it's important, whether you're going into the garden or going into the gym, to have a specific mindset. Ideally, you would want to clear your mind. And when I say that, I don't mean to necessarily meditate before you do it. If you have time to, that's excellent. And again, I'm talking garden or gym or anywhere in between. But to clear the mind, to get your mind ready. Get your mind ready for production.
Okay.
Get your mind ready for production. Get your mind ready for what your body is getting ready to do. And then once you do that, you have to warm it up. You have to warm the body up. So once you warm up your mind, you now warm up your body. And after warming up that body and getting a nice little stretch in, reaching over, turning and twisting, getting the back ready, getting the back and the spine and your vertebrae warm, making sure your hips are loose, whether you're doing hip circles or high knees or a little jog in place or little soft squats, nothing too deep, nothing too crazy. But again, something to get your body warm, right? We want the body to be warm. We don't want to put a cold glass under hot water, right? And go right into a workout. So we want to make sure we're nice and warm, we're nice and loose. And then once you know you're loose and ready to go, then at that point, a nice little stretch. Doesn't need to be long. Again, all of this might take anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes. But doing all of that and then getting into the gardening, getting into the gym or whatever you're doing, I think that in that way you can be way more productive. But making sure that you're, if you're talking about form, one thing I'll always say is always keep your chest up, which, if you're keeping your chest up, your shoulders are always back, and you're not trying to force it, but you maintain good posture, right? Good posture, right? And then you always want to work through your core. And working through your core means not your abs, which a lot of people seem to think, core just means their abs and their obliques. But it's actually, let me just use layman terms. It's your butt, it's your groin area, it's your lower back, all the way up into the middle of your back. And it's the breathing through those areas, making sure that your body is ready for production and ready for performance through those areas, specifically breathing through those areas. So when you're doing whatever you do, you're prepared and your body is in order and hopefully in alignment. So again, chest up, shoulders back. I would always say if you're doing a squat, like you mentioned, make sure your weight goes into your heels, right? Don't put that weight onto your knees. Don't put the weight onto your toes or the balls of your feet. It's okay if your knees go over your toes, but the weight of your body needs to be in your heels. And again, if your chest is up, you can just imagine how that would feel. Imagine a young child when they squat down, right?
Okay.
Their butt is always back, right? They're able to touch the ground. I can't do that anymore, but but the idea the idea is to make the mind body connection and to say I'm going to put my weight into my heels when I go down and squat, and I'll take the easy way out, which is also an easy way to injure yourself, which is just by bending over.
So you need to squat down, head and shoulders back, squat,
Yes,
and like properly,
chest up.
yeah, chest up, properly squat down, like,
Right.
and that's something that brings me to where we're going to also try to do you all some innovative type gardening, implement some gardening exercises, if you will.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that I personally can get more benefit out of it and be more consistent with this. That where we could learn how to properly squat when we're doing our actual gardening.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, amongst other things. I know in gardening, you have to get on your hands and knees. So there's other exercises that you can use to prepare yourself that are very therapeutic and great for your spine alignment and great for your core. And core is very, very important. Core should be used in everything that you do.
I love it. I love the how you said get ready for performance and production.
Yeah.
And that kind of, it's so amazing how everything aligns. When you say performance, of course, I'm thinking about athletic. Production, when I think of production, I'm thinking about agriculture. So again, alignment is so important to understand in the industry of agriculture, and bringing the actual exercise or the health of motor skills with your body. I mean, that to me, and your mind, and understanding that, again, mental health plays a role that could be also therapeutic in a garden, right? I think, as you said, it's the mindset, going back to what you just said. That's real deep stuff. And I see something with you should really start considering coming out with a book. If you don't already have that, as well as some tutorials that I think would be phenomenal and to be sponsored and grant driven by the government, because this is huge. This is stuff, and literally you're doing it already in underserved community. Like you said, Oklahoma is number 47 and probably 48th in other areas. Like, it has some of the most poverty-stricken health issues in the nation. Yeah. And here we have our Native American / Nigerian that is bringing it to us in the raw, right? Mm-hmm. and you guys, he liked his music to it. So we get some of that urban agriculture health.
Absolutely.
I'm really like dropping these nuggets. I'm loving buzzwords that we are definitely going to try to implement in here. Do you see, and I want you to talk about barriers as a minority male in the underserved community that's doing such important work with health. What barriers do you have?
I think the barriers that, and I want to say that at this point, now that I have a better understanding of not just business, but of self, a better awareness of who I am in the universe. Just being more spiritual. I don't feel like there are any barriers. Now, in saying that, that's easy to say because I've been through the trenches and I've now done the work, right? I've done the work. So I can say that now. Before, I would easily say that the barriers are the gatekeepers are keeping their mouths shut and keeping their hands in their pockets. And that's easy to say, again, because when you come into an area where you're new, and not to say that I was unfamiliar with the East Side, but as far as being in business, when you come into an area where you're unfamiliar and you have open arms and you're asking for help, and when I say asking for help, asking to partner, like I did with you, and other I would say power players in the community. It's when they're not speaking, or when they're not saying, hey, this is how it's done. It makes it difficult. It makes it hard, because if they've already been here and they've already done it, then that means they know how to do it. They know how to be successful, and I'm not here in any way to take from anyone. I'm here to add to. But at the same
That's right. That's it.
right, at the same time, I want to be able to feed my family
Exactly.
and
That's first and foremost. I mean,
right, and live a quality life. So I think that, as well as making sure, and I think just as a business person, again, going through business, you have to do your due diligence, but a barrier could possibly be bad contracts. And that's only if you're not doing your due diligence, getting a business lawyer, and that is, I cannot emphasize that enough. And like you said, I probably will write a book.
I mean, you really do need to, because I guarantee you those barriers are nationwide for a young man like yourself that is trying to do good in the community. And it really, like you said, understanding contracts and agreements, but it shouldn't still be that hard when you have someone willing to give their time and their heart to something they have expertise in.
Right. And it's unfortunate because you have people that will try to take advantage of someone who's green, or someone who's a novice that doesn't know what they're doing in regards to business, and knowing their idea, knowing their heart, but still seeing it as a opportunity or to take advantage of somebody. That is one of the that is a big barrier in the unfortunately. Yeah.
I definitely understand where you're coming from, because most people who come here to our headquarters, they're amazed that I'll say, yes, if you're doing something, and to open my arms and say, yeah, come on, let's go. And we roll it. I mean, like, when it comes to business, because it is urgent and it is important that we have young men like yourself to be able to mentor and help in our community, because like-minded people, and even with our next generation of people, they can relate. I mean, it's just on its face, you look like them. So, and it really behooves me why leadership do not do a better job in supporting and making sure the right resources get to organizations like yours.
Right.
Go ahead. This is your show.
Well, I just wanted to say, though, again, now being more self-aware, again, now that I have stopped blaming and stopped looking outside and started looking more in depth and inside for answers, I have found people like you. I have found people like the wellness director of MetroTech, and the owner of Metropolitan Better Living, and Restore OKC, who are in partnership with the market at the East Point, amongst other people that are now coming to me again, because I changed my mindset. Again, after being angry and vengeful and upset, all of those things. At some point there has to be a change, right? Same thing.
Self-check.
Exactly. Same thing with working out, right?
Yes.
It doesn't happen overnight. At some point, you're going to, or for a while, you're going to struggle. You're going to be upset with whatever the scale says, or however you think things are going, or whatever the like in the mirror. You're going to be upset for a little while, but again, staying in it, staying in the trenches, going through the ups and downs, figuring out the nutrition, which is first and foremost, and sticking with the workouts consistently.
Yes,
will create a change.
Emmanuel, well, I'm telling you, like I said, dropping those nuggets, you all, I can't say enough of really knowing that, again, we've gone from fitness to food, now we're into mental health and self-encouragement and even community. Like you took your barriers and you're making it a positive. And that is what I call growth. maturity, class, educated, all of the above that makes you a successful business owner. And the most important thing that sticks in my mind, what you said, you have to go through the trenches. It doesn't feel good, and you have to stay consistent. It's like it's simultaneously, it goes together, because in order to be a good whatever you may be, those are some elements that you have to go through in order to get to that other side, to be an expert at what you do. And getting out there and making it happen. Because I know that you have been so consistent, and I met you, I guess, through Tani, that was here doing the Nigerian food project here, and it was just phenomenal. What you came in with the energy, you wanted learning, you wanted help. And literally, I turned to my assistant, I hook him up, make sure he gets this. We're off and going. We got grant writers trying to come in and knocking at the door. That again, I will definitely connect you to one specifically that you can start working immediately with, because you need to roll out your project and get the funding to enhance it even better, and hopefully buy your own building. That's what I'm into, seeing young people like you buy their own space and own it with zero balance, and be able to rent it out if you want to, and start others throughout the country. I know that you did something for National Women in Agriculture that, again, people that share and care. You brought Nike to the table for us. That was huge. When I say Nike, and this young man from Nike has been, in connect with me. You see some other, or he's able to grow as well. So, and I can honestly say, when you find leaders like you that will share, those are the type of people I like to, we say nest with, like really be able to connect with. I'm being very clean, as you can see. But to be connected with young people, and I say young because you're younger than myself, to make sure that those doors are open. That's what we want. And I want, if I care about the next generation or whatever I'm doing, I have to make sure that those doors are open for you. What are the words of encouragement? Oh, let me back up. What are some of the foods that you would recommend to go with a fitness plan coming from the garden? And if you want to talk about certain meat for protein, can you kind of just give us some nuggets on that?
Yeah. So from the garden, is in regards to protein. I would say one, you have to make sure that you're getting enough protein. If your goal is to change the look of your body, right? And the reason that is important is because protein is what rebuilds muscle. That's the only point for protein. It's there to rebuild the muscle. So again, not to try to be like a bodybuilder or anything like that. But I would definitely say you want to eat clean. Obviously, chicken is an easy go-to, but let's say you want to be more clean than that. Maybe you stick with eggs or egg whites. So if you want to be even more clean, obviously there's always lentils. There's beans. Also easy go-to, a very easy go-to, and I think it gets neglected, which would be protein shakes. And when I say it gets neglected, I say it gets neglected by the general population, because a lot of us are on the go. A lot of us are busy, and we end up settling. And so instead of settling, we can have an option, a healthy option, something that's quick, that's easy, that doesn't take up much space. You get a bullet, a little ninja or a bullet, but have something to let you just plug in, have your tub of protein. Again, I would say stay clean and go with plant-based protein. So if you go with the plant-based protein, you can have that there. You can have fruits in a small fridge. You can always mix something like a banana, which is always good for energy, and it's good for anybody that might have any type of soreness or achiness in the joints. And
bananas.
then
Bananas for aching in the joints.
Yeah, well, so it's good. It's good for cramping. I should
Okay.
say. It's good for
Okay.
cramps. So bananas are good for cramps. But it's also good. You again, there's different, and I could go into all different areas, but
Yeah.
you have your ripe bananas and then you have your more fresh bananas. So the fresh bananas, they have more fiber and they stay in your system longer. It takes longer to digest, which is a good thing because it keeps you fuller longer. Whereas
Okay.
the riper bananas, it gives you that sweetness, so it gives you that energy, right?
Okay. That
Right.
makes
So,
sense.
but again, protein shakes. They're very neglected when it comes to the general population. Again, I would say be careful of the kind of protein you get because if it has a lot of sugar in it, it's not good protein.
What is that? What is something that has a lot of sugar protein, which would not be good?
Sugary protein would be like your Boost. Um,
Mm,
yeah, like the muscle milk. Uh,
okay, okay. I
yeah.
don't want us to get in any trouble, so I get what you're
Oh,
saying.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Sometimes because if we drop some names, it's like, okay,
Hey,
so
I mean, there's protein in
we
it.
might need that person to sponsor us, right?
Right. Right. Because I mean, there is protein in it, but again, there's always better options. Just know that there's better options. And it's good to eat fresh. When it comes to leafy greens, spinach is a big one. Oh, I'm big on spinach. And spinach has protein in it.
What
Uh,
about greens? Greens
yeah.
is good
Oh,
veggies
yeah.
too.
Honestly, any dark leafy greens is always a plus. You can't go wrong. One thing I would say is stay away from lettuce.
Right.
Stay away from lettuce. Lettuce has no value. So the dark leafy greens has nutritional value. The
Mhm,
stuff that has no color or lack of color doesn't
mhm.
have as much value. You want your dark, deep greens, your dark reds, uh,
Right.
and orange, your dark orange, blues, dark blues. So
You know what I see while you're talking? I see us hosting a locally grown food and fitness fest,
come
uh,
on, good.
or feast or fest.
Yeah, both.
I think that's something we
And
need to
best.
roll out.
Yeah, I would love that.
Literally have it where the people could pull the actual produce right here on the property
Yeah,
that's local, have someone cooking and you doing the exercises to go
yeah,
with it. I can show them how to plant it themselves.
yes,
That whole piece I see rolling out, and I'm sitting here going, you know what? Emmanuel is just that guy. You hear me? You're a dad in ag, and
yeah,
you're in the community making it happen. And with you bringing that piece of I Fit Kids to the academy here, we are
yes,
so excited about that to have the children to have, and that brings me to our school age teacher that was going to reach out to you. I think she may have already tried, but we definitely gave her your number uh,
okay,
to connect with you to roll out part of that as a part of her curriculum because
okay,
she wants to have, because she's actually in several schools throughout the Oklahoma City area. Those are Title I schools who
yeah,
we focus in on making sure they have some of those health benefits and educational tools with them. So
right,
just know that and be expecting a call from that. So
yeah.
are there any last nuggets you would like to give to our audience as far as just being a dad in ag and a fitness dad? What would you like to tell our audience as far as if they wanted to get into kind of the same field what you're doing in their community?
Absolutely. I would say definitely make sure you are educated in regards to fitness. It's very easy nowadays to get a certification, a fitness certification, but experience is everything. So make sure, regardless of getting certified in something, that you have experience. I have a degree in kinesiology, a bachelor's from University of Central Oklahoma. So um, I happen to just be very, very well versed because of my background. But again, you don't have to necessarily have a college degree. Um, uh, it could just be something that you really love to do and have a passion for. So I would just say make sure that you're passionate about it.
Right.
If you want to go into business, just be very mindful. Ask lots of questions. Don't jump in. Um, and definitely stay consistent. Whether it's nutrition, whether it's fitness, whether it's business, you have to stay consistent. If you have a vision of what you want to look like, if you have a vision of what you want to be, if you have a vision of the kind of business that you want to run and the kind of money you want to make, stick to the vision. I've learned a lot from my wife. She's an amazing realtor, but she had to learn and grow, and she's done a lot, and she's allowed me to do the same. And with all my trips and falls. So I would just say stay consistent, stick with the vision, write it down, say it, speak it, pray it, believe it, and achieve it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard it live here from our fitness expert, Dad and Ag. A whole new innovative piece is coming from a brother that's out here doing it. He's in the underserved community. He's bringing it through a fitness side, but coupling it and partnering with the food, locally grown food system. So you don't get it any better. He's been through all the athletic side of it. He has a degree. So when they come at him, he's certified. So what we have to do as leaders and professionals and partners is support him. And if you want to get in touch with him, how can they get in touch with you, Mr. Emmanuel?
You can get in touch with me by email, Emmanuel, EMMANUEL .Sosanya, Sosanya, but Sosanya, SOSANYA @gmail.com. And also by contacting me at the studio, definitely leave me a voice message, 405-724-9281. That's Intentional Fitness. Just contact me, message me via Facebook, Instagram. It's iFitOKC on Instagram, and iFit Clubs also on Instagram. Also, you can find me by looking for Emmanuel Sosanya on Facebook. I think that's about it.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You have did a phenomenal job, and I pray and support you. And I say it nationally, internationally, to the world. You guys will see this partnership flourish with us throughout the country, throughout the world. And literally, we are doing an international conference back in your home or your native roots in Nigeria. Awesome. In the year of 2024. So I would love to even have you as a part of that, because I think that's really important that they see how you actually branched off from your roots and here in the Oklahoma area and starting to spread throughout the country as a partnership with National Women in Agriculture to bring a whole nother innovative piece on keeping our bodies together. And you guys, he's talking to me. I just want to throw this in there when he say consistent with the exercising. And I'm one of them. I'm a woman. I own up to mine. You hear me?
You do.
I'm chest up, shoulders back. I'm owning up to this. That I will get back on my consistency when it comes to working out. But if I don't, I'm saying that I will implement my using my muscles properly in the garden. So is that fair?
Absolutely. And you've given me a great idea, which is to come up with, so I'm going to have some video links available for people to purchase. They won't be that expensive. It'll be, $10 or less, but they'll be able to follow either an intentional fitness workout or do a warm up, stretch, and exercises specifically for the garden. So I'm going to create a link and set that up.
And we will put it on our platforms and promote it, as well as our National Women in our Women in Agriculture app that we got certified through Apple and Google. So that will be another piece to help our fellow human people to be healthy. Yes. So that is, as you all, that brings us to the end of our show. As you all know, this is a Women in Agriculture, another outreach program that we do live every week. It's called Women in Ag Wednesday. It's a live podcast that we have come in trying to be more intentional to make sure people understand what the agriculture industry has to offer in different innovative ways. How we actually accomplish and be able to do these type outreach projects or methods, outreach methods, is partnering with the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. Our primary partner is NRCS, that's Natural Resource Conservation Services. And that organization or that entity of the USDA is the main entity where you can literally get huge cost share or sometimes free resources to go on your individual farms and or in your backyards. You don't have to have like acres and acres of land. You can literally go into your local office. Every state in America has a NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Services program that you're able to go in and talk to them about the program. They will walk you through the steps, which includes will back you up to actually get your farm ID from Farm Service Agency. And I call that's the first step, but I have to take you to NRCS because that's our main partner, and they will make sure to connect you with their counterpart, Farm Service Agency, to get a free farm ID. The NRCS will give you a free agriculture conservation plan based on your vision. Again, I repeat, free, F-R-E-E. That it's just you contacting your local state NRCS office. They will help you or connect you down to your state, your county level. Actual NRCS offices, they will come out to your farm or your backyard or what have you going on in agriculture and assist you from cattle to crops to erosion issues to honeybees. All these resources are available to you. And again, I want to make sure that I give our thank you to Natural Resource Conservation Services, as well as the 2501 USDA program that we are highly partnered with, who helps me roll out programs to connect you to other USDA programs. And I'm not going to get into all that because then I'll go off script for Mr. Emmanuel and keep him away from his fitness ag program. So you all, it's a great day in ag to make that bag, and you heard it from an ag dad. So happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you, Mr. Emmanuel, as well as to all of you wonderful fathers. And take those nuggets that Mr. Emmanuel gave to you, connect with him, grow with him, and you all stay blessed. Thank you very much.
At 5 in the morning, I wake up to fight for my yearnings. Fear in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day. I try to be fine, but I can't be.